Today, General Karbler is here at White Sands Missile Range as part of his first visit as the ATEC Commander. General, welcome.
Thanks very much. Great to be here, Erin.
And sir, speaking of October 1st, we are here. The fact that I'm here means that there is not a government shutdown, but we're in for another tough year with budget constraints. What is the future like for WSMR's employees when it comes to these budget constraints and possible cutbacks?
Well, we can continue to fight and make the case for the importance of the test and evaluation mission, of which White Sands Missile Range it's a national treasure. That's recognized at the Office of the Secretary of Defense, as well with the Army senior leadership. Just this week, as part of my visit here, I'm going down to do the NIE. And so again, White Sands proving its worth to the Army through exercises like that. And again, the big complex tests that White Sands does, I think shows the value of White Sands, and will continue to make sure that, again, the Army leadership and the DoD leadership recognizes that importance and resources it accordingly.
And speaking of budget cutbacks, I know it's tough for all of the ranges that fall under ATEC. Is there a plan to upgrade WSMR facilities and the equipment to keep us competitive with other ranges?
There is a plan, and that's part of my important part of my visit here was to make sure I could walk the ground and talk to all the teammates here at White Sands, look at the equipment, find out just what kind of state it's in, make sure that in dialogue with General Coffin, I have a full appreciation and understanding where we need to go with the modernization. And yes, it's very tough. Modernization across the Army, whether it's for Army equipment or whether it's test and evaluation equipment, it's a challenge to make sure that we get the right resourcing for it. But my visit here will allow me to take a look at it and then be able to set within the priorities, because we have limited resources, be able to set within the priorities where we should be able to apply resources to help White Sands out.
And so part of those priorities, the workforce really wants to know, what are your goals and priorities for WSMR, especially looking out long range in 10, 15, 20 years?
Sure. Last week we had an opportunity to meet with General Milley, the new Chief of Staff of the Army, and he laid out very clearly what his priorities are. So I want to make sure that we nest the ATEC priorities up underneath General Milley's priorities. His first priority is current readiness, to make sure that the force is ready to fight. It's a very complex environment out there, but he has to make sure that Army forces are ready today. His second priority is the future Army. That's really where I think ATEC plays a significant role, because those future systems that are going to be delivered to us in those 10 to 15 years, ATEC's testing and evaluation of those systems to make sure that we provide the right capability to the soldier, that's our bread and butter. So we fit very, very well within his second priority, as well as his third priority, which is make sure that we take care of soldiers and families. So the Chief's priorities are my priorities. I've talked about it a couple different times when I took command, as well as the town hall that we had a couple of weeks ago. And what's really good is, as I'm talking to the teammates out at White Sands and around the ATEC Command, is everybody embraces those priorities and is moving out on them.
Sir, what are you taking back to ATEC from your visit to White Sands Missile Range this time?
Well, I could go to the other room and get my notebook, and I've got about 10 pages worth of notes to take back to my staff. But I want to make sure that we, as best as we can, given the limited resources, are giving White Sands what it needs to do to not just to do its mission, but to make sure that the customers that come in here for their tests leave fully satisfied, wanting to come back to White Sands, knowing that it's top-notch, world-class operation.
And sir, what do you want WSMR to do for ATEC and also for the Department of the Army?
Just what it's doing right now. Again, world-class test results, feedback to the customer, being very flexible and supportive to our customers as they come in here, both ones that are transient, that come in and leave, as well as, I had a great opportunity to visit with the Navy, so we're seeing tenants that come in, really our joint partners that come in and reside with us full-time, to continue to provide that professional experience, professional level of expertise to them, so whatever their mission is coming to White Sands, they're satisfied with it, and they want to just continue coming back or add on to the mission. And I want to make sure then that as those missions accumulate, again from ATEC, that we resource it properly, so that they're not going somewhere else to do their tests.
And sir, one last question, and this is kind of a personal question. Do you have a defining moment from your military career or something that you would like to share with Team WSMR that has shaped and gotten you to where you are today?
Sure. When I was a lieutenant, I was deployed to Israel during Desert Storm, and with the Patriot Battalion out of Germany. Before then, I was kind of considering getting out of the Army. I was going to do my 5-year commitment and get out. I'd served my time and I was going to do something else. And then during Desert Storm in Israel, and I watched the Patriot performance, and shame on me, but I was not in the bunker in my mop gear, but I was outside of the bunker because I wanted to watch the TBMs coming in and see how, and I actually got to watch the business end of the Patriot missile system do its mission. And at that moment, I said, man, this is pretty cool, and this is something that I want to do for a long time. Getting to see that real life operational event, which was significant because in a lot of different ways. First, it was cool to watch a missile intercept a missile, but knowing that we were defending the city of Tel Aviv in Israel really had a huge impact on me and has carried me forward to this day.
Very good, sir. Well, thank you for your service, and thank you for taking the time to do this interview for the workforce. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Erin. It's my pleasure. Go Green Bay Packers.